Hi everyone, welcome back to the Strawberryloli channel. I finally have another makeup video that I'm gonna sit down to do for you guys today, so I really apologize to those of you who have been waiting for the next makeup related video. I've just been really busy with the holiday season, and some of you know that I started a new job back in November, so that's been also taking up a lot of my time. Not in the sense that, like, it's not even that I'm super busy or I have a huge workload or anything like that. It's just been a big adjustment. Like, even now I feel like it's an ongoing adjustment period in the best way possible, but basically I work from home most of the time now, so it's been kind of chaotic trying to just like get my house set up and get this little corner office, home office area set up. I don't have separate rooms in my apartment. It's just a studio with a room in the back that has my bathtub and my laundry area. But yeah, it's just been taking an unexpectedly large amount of time and energy to get the work from home situation set up, not only physically but also mentally. I really should not get into this because this is like a completely different topic that could be a whole other video, but it's been like quite the mental adjustment, and this is not a complaint whatsoever. Like, honestly, I mean, knock on wood, I don't want to speak too soon because it's only the second month into the job, but this is pretty much like the most ideal work situation that I've ever had in my life. Honestly, I'm just gonna say it, I totally manifested this. I might do a video in the future on how exactly I was able to do that, like what my actual process was to manifest this job. I don't know if I'm 100% comfortable with sharing that particular story, to be honest with you guys. Not that it's anything even super unique, or if you heard it you would probably be like, oh, that's a pretty typical chain of events for any type of manifestation story, but I don't know, I just feel like oddly more vulnerable and more guarded these days when it comes to anything regarding personal matters. Again, it's not a bad thing. I mean, if anything, I think that's a very healthy mindset to have, but at the same time I do also have a YouTube channel and I love connecting with people. If my unique stories or experiences could potentially help people out there or give somebody a light bulb moment, I wouldn't want to deprive them of that, if that makes any sense. So yeah, but anyway, that's an idea for another day. Okay, so back to today's agenda. So I basically just wanted to come on here and give an updated get ready with me routine of my everyday makeup, and I think it would be most fitting to call this my typical everyday Zoom or, you know, Google Teams online meeting makeup look, because I find myself in a lot of online virtual meetings these days, again due to the work at home situation. I pretty much take it as an opportunity to go a little bit like extra, a little overboard with my makeup that I wouldn't normally do if I was, let's say, just meeting people in person under regular circumstances. As far as color palette goes, I do still keep things mostly like in the neutral, peachy, whatever, rosy tones, but I allow myself to use a heavier hand and add a little more oomph in terms of the intensity of the glitters or whatnot, or just the saturation of color, because of the nature of makeup just, you know, appearing more washed out on camera than in real life. And so if I do that little bit of extra, it'll appear like just perfect. And not to brag or anything, but I've had a few comments from more than one person about how I always just look so put together and so perfect on Zoom, and people are asking me like, what is it that you do? When people want to ask me specifically what my secret is, the secret is to put on a crap ton of makeup. I mean, it's nothing new here really in terms of the overall messaging of this channel. You guys know I'm a big fan of looks maxing. For every person out there, if you don't know the term, look it up, although I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Looks maxing, making the most of the hand that you were dealt in the looks department. If you're really unhappy or unsatisfied with something, we have a plethora of both invasive and non-invasive procedures out here at your disposal. And if you say, well, those treatments are so expensive, how would I ever afford that? Maybe that's your answer. Maybe that's a sign that your next step should be to manifest yourself a job or a situation that can afford you those types of luxuries, if you so wish. But again, I'm getting off topic. See, I just can't help myself. My mind is like so preoccupied with manifestation these days. But today we're doing a makeup video, so I will not lose the plot. I already did my base. I put on my usual Etuse Face Edition Skin Base for oily skin that comes in this baby pink bottle here. And then I usually don't even wear foundation because I find it to be like unnecessary, and I feel like it dries out and ruins your skin anyway, so you're better off just investing in the skincare and the skin primers, products that will nourish and heal your skin, make it radiate from the inside out, as opposed to one that covers it up, if that makes sense. So I'm really not into foundation these days, but today, like, for some reason I was in a rare mood to put some on. I will show you what I've been using. This is the Rimmel Lasting Finish 25-Hour Hydration Boost Foundation. I think this is a very old product, but they renewed the formula recently, something like that. So this is in 070 Sesame, and that's what I have on my face right now. But just as a side note though, normally I don't even bother with foundation these days. And then I just did my eyebrows the normal way with my AC Makeup Tokyo eyebrow powder in dark brown. This is like some major pan going on there. I'm really excited, even though this is just an eyebrow powder from the 100 yen shop at that. Still, I'm on track to finishing this entire pan of powder, and honestly I don't remember the last time I panned an entire powder product, so that's gonna be exciting when this is finally used up. I already have a replacement from the same brand. I bought a bunch of stuff actually from AC Makeup Tokyo because they came out with a couple of new color variations for their, I think it's 8-pan eyeshadow palettes, which are really good options if you're on a Daiso budget. In fact, I think they are the best. I think AC Makeup Tokyo, that brand, has some of the best eyeshadow like powder options, at least in the drugstore. Much better than anything by UR Glam. UR Glam is a scam. We can get into that later, but that's what I'm gonna leave it at for now. UR Glam relies like 90% on their packaging and presentation and marketing, but the products themselves, I have to say, I don't think I've ever been truly even 50% satisfied with a UR Glam makeup product. So yeah, I'm gonna put up a post on my community tab of the new products that I got from AC Makeup Tokyo, and I'll ask if you want me to do a dedicated video to those. Make sure you like the post. And then what was I saying? Oh yeah, eyebrows. So I usually finish off with a brow gel. This one is the Etuse Eye Edition Brow Mascara in 03. This was handed down to me by Meg. It's just a standard dark brown coffee colored eyebrow mascara. Okay, it is significantly later in the day because I got sidetracked, and once again the lighting is atrocious, but we're gonna make it work with my little smartphone ring light here. So what's next? Eyeshadow. These days I have pretty much only been using my small little Japanese eyeshadow quads, so I have most of them in here. This is not the entire collection, but yeah, they pretty much, I think they should all be able to fit in here. I have a few more in my drawer over there on my dresser, but these are pretty much the ones that I rotate through on a daily basis. I don't use the exact same ones every single day. I think I'm pretty good about rotating through most of my palettes. Like, there's nothing that I would want to declutter from here. Usually it depends on what color clothing I have on that day and whatnot. For today, for the sake of this video, I wanted to just use a palette that I don't think I've used before on camera, and that would be the Can Make Silky Souffle Eyes eyeshadow in 06. This one is called Topaz Pink. I purchased this together with another variation from the same line, if I have it here. Yeah, this one. So this one is the green matcha one. I did a separate video dedicated to this alone, but I have to be honest with you, I'm not ever since that video, I haven't been reaching for this because I just don't really like this formula. Looking back, it was just too powdery and dull looking for my taste. But the Topaz Pink one, I actually surprisingly really do enjoy this one. I think it works really well with my undertones. Funnily enough, I remember when I purchased these palettes, I actually purchased 2 of each because I wanted to give one set to my friend Meg, who also does makeup reviews on YouTube and Instagram. Turns out she enjoyed this one well enough but didn't approve so much of the Topaz Pink. However, for me, I really feel like this formula and these shades in particular are really flattering on me when I want that really just natural looking like dusty mauve pinky look. So for eyeshadow primer, you guys know that I have been using for the longest time now my Anastasia Beverly Hills primer, but recently I just feel like, I don't know, maybe I've just had the ABH one for so long. I feel like the formula is a little off or drying or something because it doesn't have quite that nice sticking power. Like, it doesn't bring out the vibrancy of the eyeshadows as well as it used to. It could just be my imagination, but yeah. So recently, in place of that, I've been using my new Makeup Revolution concealer, the Conceal and Define by Makeup Revolution, or Revolution Beauty, whatever of the 500 aliases that they have. I actually purchased this in a way too light shade. This is C0.5. I decluttered a jumbo version of this a while ago because I had had it for too long and it was going rancid. So I think I kind of failed in my little repurchase attempt because this is definitely not the same shade as before, but that's okay because we can just repurpose it as eyeshadow primer. So here we go. And now we're just gonna go to town with these eyeshadows, create a classic horizontal gradient look. Funnily enough, I feel like my eyeshadow is the shortest part of my makeup routine these days. Sorry if that footage was a little washed out because of the light. As you can see, it's just a very nice, natural looking, blended out berry tone on the eyes. I feel like this really mimics like the natural shadow colors of my face. I'm kind of surprised still that this palette didn't work out that great for Meg, because I'm like completely on the opposite end of the spectrum with my review. I probably like this one the most out of all the Can Make palettes that I've tried, so it just goes to show you how personal and different makeup is for each person. Then what I do is I curl my lashes before applying eyeliner and falsies. Actually, ideally I would curl them before the eyeshadow even, but I always tend to forget, so this is the next best thing. Then I do my regular Ingenious liquid liner from RMK. I don't really even wing it out these days. I kind of just stop it right at the edge of my eyes. Sometimes I'll do like ever so slightly a lifted line, but I don't wing it out too far because I feel like that looks kind of weird with my eye shape. This way I feel like it just looks much more natural, especially once the falsies are on. I use these pretty natural looking wispy false eyelashes from Daiso almost every day anyway, so it's kind of like I want to look like I have makeup on, like I want you to be able to see the colors on my lids and my lips and cheeks, but I also want it to look really natural and blend really seamlessly with my skin tone and natural features. So that's kind of where I'm at today in terms of the look I'm trying to achieve or whatever. But yeah, speaking of eyelashes, these are the everyday lashes that I'm using nowadays in the style D06 from Daiso. This is not my absolute favorite design of eyelash. Daiso used to have this other design that was actually like even more wispy and natural looking. Those were my favorite, but it seems like they discontinued production of that one. So this is the second best thing that I could find. And the thing about these is that they look decent, but I do have to prep them quite a bit. Like I have to trim and then curl them. So I usually do that while I'm waiting for my eyeliner to dry. So what I do is I take a whole normal sized pair of scissors here and I just trim the inside, trim off a piece, and I curl with my Shuamura curler so that it gets that nice upward mobility, you know, to withstand the thickness of my lids. My strange half-creased lids that can't decide if they want to be monolids or folded. So now we're going to just pop the lashes on. It's a little tricky to get these on close to my natural lash line because of the intense curl, but trust me, the finished effect is worth mastering this technique. Before I put on mascara, I'm going to emphasize my fake tear bags Namida Bukuro area with the Shippy Shippy Secret Kiwami liner. Or actually, hold on, let me put some inner corner highlight on first. I've been using this tear eyeliner by Etude House. To be honest, I'm not too thrilled with this formula. First of all, it doesn't quite come out as white or bright as it looks in the tube. It's more of like a pinkish multicolored glitter effect, which is pretty, but not exactly what I'm looking for the tear bag area. And also when it dries, like if you put on more than just a really thin layer, which I tend to do, it kind of starts to dry up and crackle as the day wears on. And yeah, it's just not a very pretty effect in the long run, but since this is what I have, I'm just trying to use it up. And okay, so now I'm gonna go in with my Secret Kiwami liner. It doesn't have to be this Sheepy brand, just any really light brown shadow. It could even be a gel pencil liner to emphasize my tear bags. This is the part where we can start going a little ham, since the resolution on the Zoom camera, I don't know if you guys, whoever else is working at home in a corporate type of role who's watching this, but yeah, that Zoom camera footage can be quite grainy sometimes. But you know what? That actually works to our advantage if you're a makeup fiend like me, and that's why I've been incorporating more glitter into my looks, because it all gets washed out anyway in the Zoom meeting, so I end up looking just right. Okay, next up is blush. I have a bunch of really amazing blushes from the Japanese drugstore, mostly can make, and I think there's like 1 or 2 Korean brands. So the one I'm using right now, this is the one that I'm trying to pan, is a Korean brand, Silly or Chili Blossom blush in Anemone. Out of all the blushes that I own, I still think that this is like the most, this gives me the most natural looking flush. It doesn't look like much in the pan, like it almost looks chalky if you were to judge it on its pan presence alone, but I would have to say out of all of my blushes at the moment, this is still like the most natural looking, and plus I can layer it on a little heavier and it still won't look artificial or overdone. So I'm gonna do that right now if I can find my blush brush. You see how I just pile it on and it just looks so rosy and doll-like, and it blends perfectly. Oh my god, you guys, I knew this was bound to happen sooner or later. We have officially hit pan on this blush. Now that is super exciting. That tells me that my intuition was right for filming this video for today. Okay, this is one of those moments where I'm like proud of myself for hitting pan, but also immediately following that emotion, I'm kind of sad because it means that this blush is going to be gone soon and I'm going to be faced with the tough decision of whether I want to repurchase or try to use up some of my other blushes first. But we will cross that bridge once we get to it. There's still plenty left in here. I mean, it's not a huge pan, but yeah, I can definitely get a lot more use out of this still. And then let's see, let's circle back to the eyes and put on some mascara. So I just used my same brand as always, the My Lash Opera Mascara in 01. I really like the separating qualities of this one, and the fibers are also super long and adhesive. I believe this is waterproof as well. I'm not sure though, don't quote me on that. Since I have falsies on, I pretty much only concentrate this at the base of my top lashes. I don't bring it out to the very edge of the false eyelashes. And then I usually do like a couple of layers on my bottom lashes, 2 or 3, because you can really build up the length with the fibers in this formula. Before we move on to the last step of lips, I'm just gonna take this pearl shade in this Excel palette. I just want to amp up the inner corners a little more. Not the part where I put the glitter on, but like the V-shaped part. I've pretty much been only wearing one type of lip combo these days, so I religiously use my RMK lip base matte because 9 times out of 10 I'm using a matte liquid lip. The reason for that being, as much as I love my glossy moisturizing wet looking lip formulas, nothing can beat a matte lipstick formula when it comes to really creating the type of lip shape that I like. So I think, like I mentioned this before probably 100 times, but I like to exaggerate the edge of my upper lip to give me a poutier look. And I don't know if I've ever actually shown this on camera, but this is another gift from Meg. So this is one of those moussey matte Korean lip formulas by the brand Rare Kind, and this one is called Salted Almond. And this is the box that it came in. It's kind of like really bulky packaging overall for no reason, but I have low-key been addicted to this lipstick ever since Meg gave it to me, which she gave it to me quite a while ago, so I feel kind of bad because I feel like I barely feature it on my social media, but I use it the most out of all my lipsticks these days. So yeah, this is just a really, it's not like, especially when you combine it with the RMK lip base, it doesn't have that super matte velvety dry look, which is kind of a bummer because I really do enjoy that aesthetic. So it does kind of veer into a semi-glossy territory, you know, just with the lip combo that I'm doing these days. As far as the color goes, I think it pretty much matches almost everything. And the formula is also super comfortable and breathable. Like, it never dries down or shrinks in that uncomfortable way that a lot of other matte formulas do, so that is really appreciated. Like, for instance, just last week, I don't know what came over me, but I impulse purchased 2 of the Maybelline Super Stay Matte Ink lipsticks. The only reason that I purchased these was that I knew that my RMK lip base was going to save me from the super drying effect of this formula, because this formula in particular is truly like on a whole another level when it comes to drying and crackling and emphasizing all of the fine wrinkles and lines in your lips. So I actually cannot recommend the Maybelline ones in good faith unless you have a really good lip base, or like specifically formulated matte lip base. I would not put this directly on my lips at all. Okay, so this is the final look. We made it. We finally made it to the end. I feel like I've been filming for literally forever. That was a lot of steps. Yeah, I know. But you know what I say to that? Turn down for what? That's right, you heard me. Not to toot my own horn, but this is kind of my domain. Like, I'm sorry, but I mean, hello, I've been doing YouTube for how many years now? This is kind of my motherfucking domain. Excuse my French. Making sure that I look camera ready, you know, with the makeup and the lighting and the hair and everything. This is what I do, okay? And I'm not about to tone myself down just because everyone else on Zoom looks like they just rolled out of bed. I mean, I'm gonna keep showing up every single day in my glorious full Leonine self. You know that with every passive-aggressive comment, people are actually taking notes. No, actually that's a lie. Nobody at this new company is passive-aggressive in the least. Actually, they are, like, every single person is the sweetest, most helpful, most supportive coworker ever. It's almost freaky, like, how lovely the people are here. But so yeah, nobody is giving me passive-aggressive comments, but I know that they be taking notes, okay? Because the thing is, I did not wake up like this. You just saw the process that I took to transform into my Zoom ready self. So I feel like it's my duty, as long as I'm on this earth, to just keep showing up as my full extra self with all of the trimmings. I believe that when you do that, when you show up as unapologetically yourself in every situation or scene in your life, I believe that the people that want to see you succeed or want to grow with you, the non-toxic people, only good things can come out of them watching your example. Like, they might be inspired themselves to do something. Not that everyone cares about outer appearance to the same degree that I do. I'm not saying that at all. Like, you guys get the message I'm trying to say, right? Be your full authentic self, even if it feels scary or it feels like you might be putting yourself out there for judgment, because chances are, actually no, not even chances are, I guarantee it that at least one person out there is gonna see you doing that and they'll be inspired in turn by simply you, like, setting an example by living your life to the fullest. Again, not to toot my own horn, but in the short time that I've been at this company, I feel like I'm already inspiring certain people, regardless of gender. There are certain individuals that have, like, I can see that they're trying to step up their diet game, their physical fitness, just things like that. Not that I'm trying to take credit for other people's choices at self-improvement or anything like that. For all I know, they could have planned to do that before I even got there, but I don't know, it just seems like, to me, there seems like a little bit of a correlation, at least. I think me showing up every day in my full YouTuber, camera ready makeup and hair and outfit too every single day. Maybe it's presumptuous of me, but I just can't help but think that I am inspiring people to level up in their own way as well. So with that, I'm going to end this video. Merry Christmas to you guys over there in the Western Hemisphere. We already had Christmas yesterday. Here in Japan, it's already the 26th by the time I'm putting this video out. But yeah, thank you so much for watching as usual, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!